What's up, everybody? This is your boy Chainsaw. In this video, we're going to talk about macroeconomics for dummies. And I know what you're thinking. Oh my god, Chainsaw, I don't want to have to deal with numbers. I get my calculator out and it like hurts my brain. And don't worry, I'm going to make this as paint by numbers as possible for you. Super simple, right? In fact, I already did all the hard work for you. So like all you got to do is just sit back and stretch your shirt and relax a little bit, okay? Firstly, shout out to the other guy. He's not been feeling too good for like the last week, but somehow was still able to wake up this morning and do a video on the CPI data, which was super helpful. And, you know, so thanks very much to me, Kevin. Hope you get better, bro. But as everybody saw, the CPI data that came out today, the market has been super stoked about this. So that's exciting, no matter what you're invested in, right? But anyway, back to macroeconomics for dummies. Now, the title of this video is something along the lines of, the government's spending all of our tax money and it's going to create massive hyperinflation forever, and we're going to go into debt, and it's just crazy. And, you know, my great-great-grandchildren, I'm 25, and my great-great-grandchildren are going to be paying for this stuff forever. And we're just going to be swamped under an ocean of debt, and the world is just going to explode in a fiery rain of bad credit. Okay, well, so now that we've got that out of our system, I hope, let's just jump right into it, because we actually do have a lot to unpack. Before that, we're going to bust out Mr. Whiteboard. I know you guys love these things. Once I find the markers here. So I found this cute little article from and I'm not going to read the whole thing to you because I know how much you love when I read to you. Good Lord. So this is posted by USA Today. Now this is a little bit older, still dated, June 13, 2019, but still relevant, and you'll see why. The title is The Cost of War, the 13 most expensive campaigns in US history. Okay, so scroll down to number one. Obviously, it's going to be World War I, right? So, or World War I, World War II, WWII. Okay, so for World War II, the number one most expensive war ever in U.S. history, right? They're talking about U.S. spending in 2019 dollars. Again, this is a 2019 article from USA Today. $4.69 trillion. And that sounds like so terrifyingly scary. In fact, I'm going to write that in, you know, the red marker here, because that's so scary. Just in case you don't know what, you know, $4.69 trillion actually looks like. So we're going to draw it like this. Okay, so here. Let's see if my handwriting's any good. So 4.69, right? So it's 4.69 trillion. Okay, so there's the billion, there's the million, there's the thousands, and yeah, so oh crap, I'm running out of room here. Okay, so roughly, you know, it goes over here, but that's 4.69. Jesus Christ, can you even see that? That's horrible. That little purple light's really gonna screw me up. And these things ain't much bigger than what I had already. All right, so $4.69 billion, right? I get that in the light without in the light. Maybe I'm not use red. Okay, so $4.69 trillion. It's 4.69 trillion with a T, right? That's like a huge number. In fact, the number is so freaking huge, I don't even have enough board to cover how big the number is. Can you see that? Okay, so let me, $4.69 trillion, right? That's trillions with a T, okay? $4.69 trillion. So that's terrifying, and I'll probably never use that red marker again. That's just horrible. All right, so that's $4.69 trillion. World War II cost $4.69 trillion. You catch that? Did I say it enough times? World War II cost $4.69 trillion. That seems like so much. That seems like so much money. That's crazy. Ermagerd, you know, the sky's falling apart. But you got to think, you know, that was like the greatest generation, right? They did everything they could. They did so much more than a lot of people are doing out there when it comes to masks and when it comes to vaccinations. But that's another story. We're not talking about that in the video, but you know who you are. But but the entire nation like did everything they could. I mean, these people were out there like, you know, just donating things and going without. And this is why your grandparents eat potted meat. I actually heard this story earlier today, potted meat, and grew their own, lemon trees in places of the country that lemon trees ain't supposed to really grow so much. Vienna sausages and then all this. This is why your grandparents love this stuff, or your great grandparents just can't get enough of it, right? Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. Okay, but this is why. Because this is what they grew up on. Because they lived in a world where that was the thing that you did because you love your country so much that you put that much effort into your patriotism. Like, that's real patriotism, right? Like, whoo! U.S. war spending in 2019 dollars was $4.69 trillion. It lasted 3 years, 9 months, according to USA Today. U.S. military deaths, of course, 405,399, which, the cost of U.S. That's tragic. I ain't got no words for that. Wasn't prepared to read that last part on the video, so I might cut this out, or I might just leave it in, just so you can dwell on that for a little while. That's a lot, bro. Strikingly less than the number of people who died from COVID-19 because of a lack of this kind of patriotism. But that's, again, not the point of the video. The point is economics, right? So $4.69 trillion. But that was $4.69 trillion in the 1940s, right? 1941, 1941 to 45, right? So, like, what's that actually look like in dollars? Like, what's the actual dollar? Because this is 2019. So what was the actual dollar amount? Well, for that, we jump over here to the good old CPI inflation calculator. Now, you can do this yourself. I used in2013dollars.com. To be honest, I just Googled a calculator that does inflation, but it includes CPI data and all that. And it actually did all the wonderful hard work for me. So that's great. And I do have my calculator over here just to check the math, but we'll get into that. So $4.69 trillion. What did that actually look like in 1941 at the start of U.S. Entering the war, right? Well, you punch that into the calculator, $4.69 trillion, start year, 2019, end year, 1941. What's that look like in 1941? Well, we'll use the black color. That's bound to show up with all these crazy lights. So in 1941, the actual dollar amount, and this is give or take because it's a calculation, it's a little bit closer to this part of the video is definitely going to get cut out. This is the actual dollar amount that was spent. I know, still looks like a bunch of numbers, right? So $269,669,381,887.88. But of course, that's a rough calculation because I'm using one of these CPI inflation calculators, right? All right, so $270 billion, right? $270 billion. That was the actual dollar amount. You've seen it right here. $270 billion was the actual cost of the war in the 1940s. It was the actual dollar amount that was spent on World War II in the 1940s, $270 billion. And I know you're thinking, oh, Chainsaw, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of numbers you used on the whiteboard. In fact, it was so many numbers, you didn't include the change. Well, not the point. The point is, what's the actual difference? I mean, like, use your mind's eye here. I don't know if you're an accountant, you're probably just like, boring, click. Well, just keep letting the video play so I can get mine. But for everybody else, listen, the difference between $4.6 trillion is a difference of about 94%. That's right, 94% is the difference. The dollar cost amount for World War I, why I keep saying that? The dollar cost amount for World War II in the 1940s was 5% what it would be if we tried it today. Now, what's the relevance of that? Well, the relevance of that is this. When you hear people talking about, oh, well, this crazy spending bill, this infrastructure bill, it's like, I can't believe how much they spent on, this liberal wish list for infrastructure. My grandchildren are going to be paying for that. Bro, nobody paid for World War II yet. You know why? Because our economy has grown to a level that, at the time, World War II actually happened, that's 2.7 billion dollars was 36% of the U.S. GDP. Okay, that was over a third of the gross domestic product of the United States at the time. At the time, we've grown our economy since then. In fact, we've grown our economy quite a lot since then. Let's pull this in here. So our current CPI, of course, from 1941, 14.7. CPI back in 2019, here's listed at 255.6. Inflation back then was 5%. Inflation in 2019 was 1.7%. So even considering inflation not being at that extreme level, which obviously would make the prices strikingly different, our GDP is significantly higher now than it was back then. The GDP in 1941, 129 billion with a B dollars, okay? GDP in 2019, $21.4 trillion with a T, okay? Strikingly different. So different. So you're talking about a roughly a 94 plus percent increase in that cost value from what they actually paid to what that money would be worth now if we, tried World War II one more time real quick with all the same goods, right? 94 plus percent difference. Meanwhile, and let's just take a look at that. So 0.129 trillion, and we're going to go with 21. Let's just go with 21 trillion. So that's 0.6% of a percentage difference. Our GDP in 1941 was 0.6% of what our GDP was in 2019. So I'm not trying to hear from anybody who claims to be a conservative that we're going to be spending, that we're going to be taxing our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren on money that we're using to pay for infrastructure. Are you kidding me? In 2100, it's going to be that kind of drop in the bucket. Unless you see inflation reaching levels of 25% and staying consistent over the rest of your children's life, and then some. Okay, this is simple math, people. Like I shouldn't have to break out two, calculators for you, but I did to save you the trouble. So the next time somebody starts barking up the wrong tree about wasting money, you might tell them that tax breaks for millionaires while you're working class blue collar, guy, gal, or folk, still spending about 24 to 28% of your income on taxes is good for the economy. You just let them know what you learned here. So take that. I'm sick of hearing it from people who don't know how to use a calculator working against their best interests. Look, bro, I'm neither Republican nor Democrat. I do identify as a conservative. So I'm just going to ask the rest of the conservatives to get with the freaking program. Because, the numbers are in front of you. Do the math. So yeah, bro, if you like this kind of content, definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel. I got something special in mind to help you increase your GDP. You'll like what you see. That's coming up in a later video. But for now, get you 2 free stocks of Webull, open the account, deposit $5. Webull will send you some stocks that are free. Sell them because they're probably trash. Actually, funny story, my free stock was Levi. And Levi's been going through the roof. And I'm super mad that I sold that. So don't take my advice. I'm not a CPA or a stockbroker. Do what you want, but they're probably going to be trash, and you're probably not going to be mad if you sell them unless you got Levi like last year. Also, M1 Finance, open the account, deposit $100. It's like a 30-day wait to make sure that you're not just joking them around. And then after that, it's like 14-day wait period. They're going to get you $50 in that account. You cash out, you take $50 home. Or you use it to build yourself a ETF like Pi. It's not an ETF, it's not an index fund, but it's like your index fund. You just put whatever stocks you want to in it, or cash out and buy yourself a bunch of monsters or whatever. It's none of my business, but also still selling coupon courses. I sell all kinds of things. ChainsawCCC.com/courses. Get your coupon course on pre-sale. I go in depth, make it as paint by numbers for you, so you can learn couponing, bro, and get yourself out there and get yourself some good deals. But that's gonna do it for me, bro. So definitely hit me up, and we'll see you there, bro.